Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to math. Today we're going to learn about ellipses. Okay? So our objective for today is to know how the ellipses open. Okay? You may ask yourself, what are ellipses? I'm going to show you in a minute what they are. Okay? Pretty much you know how to find the center. Okay? And the foci. Okay? It's a fancy word, foci. That just means pretty much another way of saying half the radius. Okay? All right. Now, before we get started, okay, there's a chart back here that I want you guys to copy down because that's gonna help us on today's video. Also, probably the next video after that. Okay. So make sure you write it down. If you have it down, that's great. If not, I'm still gonna go over it with you really quick. Okay, in case you guys couldn't see some of the parts. All right. So standard form of the equation, okay, for the ellipses. There's two equations, okay, depending how it opens, okay. That means that whatever your biggest number is, that one always goes first, okay. You might have x, okay, as your first one. So x minus h squared over 2a plus y minus k squared over 2b equals 1, okay? If you start off with y instead of x, depending on your equation is going to tell you if you start off with x or if you start off with y, okay? But if you start off with with x is this one. If you start with y, is y minus k squared over 2a plus x minus h squared over b2 or b squared equals 1, okay? The only thing that changes is pretty much the top part, okay? The x and the y, depending on which one you start off with, okay? To find your center of the ellipse, okay, it's h and k, okay? Meaning they don't change up either one of them. Okay, you might ask yourself, what is h and k? Okay, h and k is another way of saying the shift, okay, another way of saying x and y. H is your x, k is your y, okay? So doesn't change for either one of the equations, okay? So if you start with x, in order to find the center, it's h and k. If you start with y, guess what? It's still h and k, okay? If you start off with x, the direction of the major axis, meaning which way it expands, okay, greater than, is horizontally, okay? If you're starting with y, it expands vertically. Meaning, an ellipse, think of an egg, okay? Push this back a little here. Here we go. All right. So, an ellipse, it's kind of like an egg, okay? It's another fancy way of saying oval, okay? Again, if it's direction, if you're starting off with x first, it opens horizontally, like this, okay? If you're starting off with y, it opens vertically, like this, okay? When you're looking for the foci, foci is the fancy way of saying a point, okay, that is halfway between the center and the edge, okay? So if I had a center on our oval here, on our ellipse, and we wanted to find not the whole distance from the center to the edge, but halfway the distance, okay? We would use the foci to find a point that is halfway, okay? Again, if we start with x, our equation, we have h plus c, okay? You still don't know what c is. I'm going to show you in a minute what c is, okay? So h plus c, comma k, And your second point, because remember, you need both points, okay? You need one on top, one on the bottom, okay? Or one on the right, one on the left, depending how it opens. You need one on the right, one on the left, okay? So halfway. Or if you're doing the vertical one, you need one top, one on bottom, okay? For your second one, on the x-axis, we have h minus c plus k, okay? Well, it's actually h minus c plus, or comma, should I say? Should have been a comma on there. My bad, hold on here. Let me use the same color, which was green. Which should have been, instead of a plus, should have been a comma. So we have h minus c, comma k, okay? The same when starting with the y. The only difference, instead of adding or subtracting the first point, you can do the second one. So it's h, comma k minus c, and h, comma k plus c, okay? It's one plus, one minus, okay? Notice on the first one, we have a plus. The second one, we have a minus. The same for this one, plus and minus, okay? It really doesn't matter which one you do first, okay? Now, to find the length of the major axis, meaning the distance, okay, on the biggest part, meaning the distance either horizontally or vertically, okay, is 2 times a units, okay? Again, you still don't know what a is, okay? But look, a is up here, okay? So whatever the number is, it's 2 times that number, okay? Doesn't change for either one of the equations. When you're looking for the minor axis, meaning the distance on the small side, okay, it's 2 times b. Whatever your b is, it's 2 times the units, okay, or 2 times that number or that variable. Kind of looks confusing, okay? That's all we're gonna go over today. If you have any questions, guys, let me know. I was gonna go over another part, but since it's already a little confusing as it is, I'm gonna stop there. I'm just gonna have you guys go over it by yourselves, okay, of how it works. Okay, make sure you know how it works for next class. If you have any questions, let me know. All right, guys, submit your work. That's all you're gonna do today. Just submit your work. And also answer these 3 questions, okay? How do we determine, or which one do we start off with first? Do we start off with x or y, okay? I will say this. You always start with the biggest one, okay? That's your answer right there. Make sure you submit that answer. Another one of the questions is, what is a foci? Okay? Pretty much explained it a little while ago on the picture. What is the foci? Okay? And then, does the center of our circle or oval changes with either one of the equations? Okay, so three questions. Submit your answers. I'll be here waiting for your email.